Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. And this topic is four corner model. Um, it's mostly associated with payments, and it is one thing and everything to understand about payments. Uh, so, if you want to understand payments ecosystem or how the payment flow is, or even the architecture of payments, then Four corner model will summarize the entire complexity of the payments ecosystem. It is easy to understand, and the whole payment industry can be understood using this model. Though it has been used in textbooks and online for cards payment, but I believe it is one thing um, and everything about any kind of payment scenario. So, in any payment scenario, there is a payer and a payee. And there is an issuer who provided a capability that payer can use to make payment, such as cash. And payee has an acquirer that helps him or her to accept the payment. Acquirer may need to talk to issuer to pull the funds, and and there is a network between acquirer and issuer, and this network facilitates the fund transfer from issuer to acquirer. When it's all cash transaction, then things are very simple. But if the issuer and acquirer are banks, two different banks, then it becomes an interbank transfer, and it might go through a country-specific interbank fund transfer network. For example, RTGS, or it can be NEFT in India, or it can be FPS in UK, etc. So, but the four corner model came from cards industry, and it is followed by Visa, Mastercard, etc. A typical payment scenario has four players: consumer, merchant, issuer, and acquirer. So if consumer is using a credit card or any type of card, then when consumer makes a payment, the merchant triggers an authentication or authorization flow to its acquirer bank. An acquirer sends this information or forwards this flow to the issuer bank to authorize this payment. Now, this flow goes through a vast network. There are many switches, gateways, servers, and that is managed by this network provider, which in case of cards is Visa, MasterCard, or it can be American Express, but they manage the entire card network. And the response of this payment request, which is sent from acquirer to issuer, is a binary response that is either positive, authorized, or negative, declined. And the payment is accepted. And the actual fund transfer happens through a settlement process that happens in a batch mode, or you can say asynchronous, or just say that, okay, it happens later in time, for example, end of day. So, and this actually settlement process also goes through the same network. Now, a consumer is a cardholder who has been issued a payment card by their bank or any type of financial institutions. Normally, actually, Visa and MasterCard, they don't directly give card to the consumers. They go through a bank, whereas American Express, they directly call to the consumers, customers and say that, okay, we can provide you credit card. And card holders, they don't own this card. Instead, it is still a property of the financial institute that is the issuer, but a card holder has the authorization to use the card. Card is backed by a bank account if in case the card is a debit card or a prepaid card. Issuer is the bank that provides the payment, credit, debit, or prepaid card on the behalf of the card payment network. For example, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, Europay, JCB, American Express also. An issuer bank handles the manufacturing of the payment cards and the management of the cards associated. any type of cryptography, tokenization. Merchant is the acceptor of the payment, and merchant has tools or capabilities to capture the customer's payment method or customer's payment capabilities, such as card details. And from whom merchant got these capabilities? They got these capabilities or tools or services from the acquirer. And often acquirer is a third party system. It can be bank also, um, but in many cases it's not directly a bank. And Merchant will have an account with this acquirer, and acquirer typically provide the hardware, software, everything needed to process the transaction. In real world, um, in a typical scenario, a bank will provide the credit card to the customer. Customer can such card can be Visa or Mastercard or any other. And a payment service provider, acquirer is in general a payment service provider. For example, PayPal, Pine Labs, Verifone, etc. And they will provide tools and services to merchant to accept the credit card payment. For example, they will provide a point of sale or POS machine for in-store payments and a payment gateway for online payment. PSPs process the payment and they contact the issuer, that is the customer bank or consumer bank, through a network, for example, Visa. And finally, after clearing and settlement, PSP will deposit the funds into the merchant bank. And PSP will charge a percentage of the payment amount, for example, 1%, 2%. Some merchants pass on this charge to consumers, which is wrong. And we can take the same four corner model even if the payment is not does not involve credit cards or any type of card. It's direct a bank transfer. For example, um, let's assume it's an interbank transfer involving payment apps. So many countries have adopted a fast payment system or FPS that allows 24 by 7, 365 days instant interbank fund transfer. The countries also promote fintechs to provide payment apps for financial inclusion. And payment apps are very popular as they provide a convenient user interface. They sit between the user and his or her bank account. App, the app's core function is payments, and it helps its users to make payment anywhere, anytime. So the fintechs sometimes fintechs or sometimes payment service providers, they provide tools and services to merchants to accept the payment. And for example, Paytm, PhonePe, and Google Pay in India, and similar Alipay and Tencent in China, they provide payment apps to the consumers, and they also provide QR code stickers and QR code soundbox, QR code point of sale machines to especially to micro and small merchants to accept the payment. And many of these micro and small merchants were still not targeted by the traditional payment service providers, because payment service providers main segment customer segment was medium and large merchants, whereas the fintechs they targeted small and micro merchants. So consumer just scans the QR code using the payment app, and it happens instant fund transfer is done there. There is some background settlement, deferred settlement happening, but for merchant and consumer it's a real time instant payment. um, And actually, if you will look in anywhere, any type of payment method, you can place the issuer, acquirer, and four corner model will help you understand. Four corner model generalizes the payment scenarios, any type of scenario. There is another model, closed loop model, wherein acquirer, issuer, network, they can be same company, or same company can be both acquirer and issuer, whereas network can be separate, but same company. So it is somehow a closed loop because then in that case, this company, which is both issuer and acquirer, they might be charging something to the consumer also for making the payment, and they charge to merchant for acquiring the payment, and it's all within their ecosystem. So they make more cut compared to four corner model where issuer and acquirer and network are all independent players. A example of a closed loop is American Express. But another example is these mobile wallet companies in Africa. And in Africa, many telecom companies they provide mobile wallet that works on telecom network. And the pioneer was M-Pesa, which started with the aim to provide fund transfer service to the population that is unbanked and that doesn't have internet access. So both consumer and both merchant they have a mobile wallet, and this wallet is provided by a telecom company. All the flow, all the information exchange, everything happens on the same telecom company's network. So that telecom company controls the end-to-end payments value chain, and it makes the whole revenue. Yeah, thank you, and thanks for watching this video. And if you like the video, then please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.